doing?
Good, man. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
We did the limo stuff a long time ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
All right.
It's been a while. You wrote in the back of the... I won't tell everybody what you wrote in the back of.
Man, doesn't matter. It's probably on TV.
And I like the pink one. I thought it was kind of sexy.
Well, thanks again for being a part of it.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to having you as a speaker at the show in September. Dumpster Expo is something that we put together because when I joined this industry, I came from, obviously, the limousine industry. We were in there for 16 years. And then we moved over to dumpsters, and it was like just... There was no help, no type of industry show for just the small guys. So we put together a show where we have all the vendors, everything kind of in one place, and also educational, right? So we bring out speakers like yourself to come out and just kind of help people out. So that's kind of why we reached out to you guys.
Well, that's cool. That's what we're here for.
So first question is, everybody knows Gas Monkey. You've been on TV for years. But what about before Gas Monkey, or before the show, before the cameras and everything like that? Like, what was it like starting out this business for you? Was this your first business? Did you have multiple businesses beforehand?
I've had many ventures in life. I started off as a police officer, firefighter, and medic before I was old enough to drink. So I could go in a bar and arrest a guy or save a guy, but I couldn't buy a beer, you know? But I've been in a lot of different businesses over my years. But when I started Gas Monkey, the core of your question is 2004. And I started it with the entire ideology of building a shop to get enough street cred to get the attention of Hollywood and get on cable. I was chasing Jesse and Paul and Senior and Junior and Chip Foose and all of them. And aside from Chip Foose, most of the shows were very men skewed and very... bodacious. I was talking to my wife at the time, and I said, I think I could build a brand and get on a TV show and knock these guys, around a little bit and take my piece of it. And she was like, why? And I said, because you don't watch these shows with me. Our kid doesn't watch this show with us. You don't want them watching this. So they're missing the family element. When I grew up, my dad and his buddies were out around with motorcycles and cars, and the kids were in the yard playing kick the can, and mom was making burgers. It was a whole big deal. So the loner aspect or the tough guy aspect was what struck me as needed to see a little change. So Gas Monkey was never opened as a shop to be public facing. It was opened as a shop to build a brand to get the awareness. So I wrote a business plan in 2004 to, build a shop, get cars that we want to build, make them badass, get out there and get noticed, which back then, social media, the computer, it wasn't even a thing, Right. Back then, the path to success was, make a noise, get noticed, newspaper, magazines, big shows, and then maybe get to television. But if you look at it, what are there? 4 of us that have done it. Me, Chip, Jesse, and the Tuttles, that have done it to this level. So it was a hard road to hoe. We thought we would get television within about 3 years. It took 8.
Wow. Okay.
And during that 8, all we did was build and travel and see the world and show them our cars and show them our shirts and get them interested in the brand. And then one day, I've shot all of our own sizzle reels over the course of 3 or 4 years. We'd make them better each time, go out to Hollywood and bang on doors. And finally one day, somebody said, well, we'll give this dumb thing a shot and we'll give you 6 episodes. And I turned it down at first because 6 wasn't enough to prove my concept. 6 wasn't enough to get enough of the attention of the audience. And they said 6 and that's it. So I had to take it. Here we are. We made just under 400 episodes of television with Discovery. The Fast and Loud is still the #1 automotive motorcycle lifestyle show in the world. We're shown in over 100 countries, translated into 30-something languages probably. It's still shown every day all over the place. I mean, here in DFW, they show it, I think it's 27. They show marathons of it, like a whole week of nothing of it, 24 hours a day. So it's pretty crazy. The success there is really, really good, and we knocked it out of the park.
So there was a lot of good stuff in there. So you built the brand with the intention of a TV show.
Correct.
How is that different from building a brand to take over a market or to be in?
It's not. It's really not. I mean, the other guys that had ended up on television, they had a brand and they had their shop and they got recognized, and somebody went in there and said, hey, let's make a TV show about this. I approached it from, I wanted a brand centric, because I wanted to get into restaurants and bars and tequila and energy drinks and all of the other facets that currently Gas Monkey is in. So it was build the loyalty to the brand first, and then when you're attacking the behemoth in the room, which was Discovery, you can go, wait a second, I've got this following, I've got this already, so you're going to automatically benefit from it. So it was a tough road.
Interesting. What do you say to the guy? Because you said obviously Gas Monkey was the main business or the main brand, but then there was all these other facets to it, right? All these other different brand offshoots, I guess you can call them. So
well, those were shows.
What was shows? The other? No, I mean like the tequila,
gotcha.
the energy drinks, the merch. What do you say to the guy to say? Because there's so many people that one or the other. People say, oh, you should have 7 streams of revenue to be a multimillionaire, whatever it is, and then you see the guys say, no, focus on the one thing, which you've kind of done, which you have done. Focus on the one thing, make it as badass as you can make it, or continue making it badass, and then before you reach out to something else. People put a restraint on sometimes of like success and like growth because they say you should focus on one thing. What do you say to those guys? Because you've got your hands in a lot of different pots.
They're all connected though. So the way I look at that is you do got to focus. Our main focus here is that monkey on the wall, Gas Monkey, and what does he do and where does he go and why does he have a reason to be in that market? The easiest way for me to equate it is like if you guys are out there selling dumpsters or service of dumpsters, well, maybe it's a good offshoot for you to have another little company that builds the surrounds that the city commands you to have with the doors on it and all that kind of stuff. It's still in your wheelhouse. It's still your thing. It's still needed. So with me, owning bars and restaurants, it was natural for me to get into food. We have sauces and we have rubs and things like that. And we've got ketchups and hot sauce and all kinds of things coming out in the next year. So that made a progression. Me owning bars made a progression into, well, let's do Gas Monkey Tequila. So if you've got your hand in 5 or 6 completely different pies and you're trying to wrangle them, that's going to blow you crazy. But as long as you're focusing on your core business and whatever else it can touch to make money and make sense, then I've always preached that that's the way to go. And if you want to get into something, if I wanted to, get into underwater basket weaving, it would be Gas Monkey underwater basket weaving.
Sure.
And so that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think obviously during COVID really messed up my previous business.
Oh yeah.
And obviously limos, party buses, limo buses, shuttle buses, we shut down. So it was like time to figure out, never put your eggs in one basket, at least for me in my world, because I just didn't want that to happen. Another COVID 2.0, I guess you can call it.
Well, you can do it, but like I have other businesses that I'm involved in, but I'm passive investor or I'm passive owner. I don't run it. I don't have to be a part of it other than every once in a while check and see how things are going or have a board meeting, but I don't let it take away from the core business of Gas Monkey.
What about personal brand? Like you're a Gas Monkey, you're also Richard Rawlings. How do you differentiate the two, or do you even do that?
There's not much differentiation. It's kind of like, Paul Sr. will always be Orange County. So the character is Richard and Gas Monkey are kind of synonymous. I don't see a difference there at all.
What about when it comes time to exit?
That is a good question. And that's what we're in the process of doing right now with all of these offshoots and getting into different aspects of core businesses that are related to us. And we're starting to build other characters inside of here, which are much younger than me. I mean, I'm approaching 60 years old, so I'm getting these lower aged, 22, 24, 30 in here, and the cream will rise to the top. And then I think that I was scared about that back in the teens, but I think that we're old enough now and we've been around long enough now that the company can still do very well without me, if I decided to step down or got hit by a truck or whatever.
The core of the building, the shop, that business you're talking about?
The brand,
all of it.
And all of it.
Gotcha.
We're approaching the staying power of a Von Dutch or, things like that. Even though they've gone like this, they're still around and still trading for millions and millions of dollars.
Interesting. Awesome. So a lot of our audience that go to the show that you're going to be at and that watch the channel here and there we're all blue collar. It's at the end of the day, it's straight blue collar. And I don't educate. We just kind of show what we do and kind of introduce people, and that's all we do. But they're all blue collar. So what would you say for the guy who's just starting out? A lot of guys that, again, do follow the channel are brand spanking new, maybe barely enough to buy one truck. How do those guys start a brand? What's more important, the equipment, the brand, all of it together? I mean, what would you say for guys, someone just starting out?
Know a lot about your industry, but I treat all industries the same. And the one thing I preach probably more than anything is how the person that you're dealing with perceives you is instantaneous the first second they see you, and you can never undo it. So if you're not professional looking and dressed professionally and your truck's not clean and what have you, and you're dropping stuff all over the place, that's not going to work. So professionalism in any industry is key, and making that look like, holy cow, this guy just rolled up in his golf shirt with his logo on, or his t-shirt even, but it's clean, he's presentable. It didn't bother me with him walking in the office and stuff, and I want him to service my account. So that would be the number one advice. And then number two, I always advise to stay lean as you can for as long as you can. You'll know when it's time to make that jump. Because people get excited, they get a little bit of first round success or second rounds doing better. Oh, I got to go get 5 trucks. I got to do this deal, and stack that cash and stay small, whether it's the place you're renting to keep all this stuff, or it's the number of employees, or it's the amount of trucks, because you don't want any equipment ever sitting idle for no reason. And you don't want to be paying or betting, well, if I get 5 more trucks, then I can get these accounts. I don't, like I said, I don't know a lot about your business, but just looking at it in 30 seconds here, I would go, well, if I need 5 more trucks, I'm going to contract with somebody that I know and trust, and I'm going to get them under NDAs, and these are my accounts, and I'm going to close those accounts and pay them to service it, until which time I can start 1 more truck and take some away. And just be upfront with that. They'll readily take the business knowing that it might go away one day.
Sure.
But everybody makes a little. And then you're just making pure profit off of that, and you're not upside down in a truck.
Businesses, at the end of the day, you run multiple businesses, so definitely want to hear your side of things. But even if you don't think it applies to this business, it definitely does, right? I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. So
debt will kill you every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I carry no debt. You can look around all this place, and everything you see, I don't have any debt. I have a couple of small structured debts just so that I have deals with banks, but they're not anything that's not sitting in cash that I can just close today. And when you're into a heavy industry, a heavy equipment industry like y'all, that's very hard to avoid. So you got to make sure that you're making the right moves. Buy used trucks for the first few years. Why not?
Yeah.
Watch the liquidation sales, things like that.
Shoot, just looking around, I was telling him, I was like, man, just the air conditioning of this place alone would probably be super expensive. I can't imagine.
This time of year, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I bet, man.
It's pretty rough, cool. But we lived without air conditioning in little bitty shops for a very long time. And when I bought the first building, which is the middle building right here, I thought, I'll never fill this up. I mean, I had never had more than a 5-car garage. And one of the biggest things was I wanted AC, because I wanted us to be comfortable, especially with the idea that we were making television. You can't be on television and looking bad and sweating, and so it was kind of an investment that I had to make. And I didn't think I'd ever fill that building, and now we've got 4, and they're full. I mean, it's ridiculous. I probably have a collecting problem now instead of a business problem.
You'll be one of those guys that people are going to come and try to barn find, but these are not barn finds. These are
well, they'll
nice pieces of
they'll come
equipment.
and knocking the day I die. They'll be knocking on the front door trying to talk to Daphne or my wife or somebody.
Nice. So you brought up the 2000s, the early 2000s, I guess, when that it was a good time back then, I guess, but when it was really reality shows were big and they were just getting popular, and that's pretty much all you saw on TV was reality shows. You were definitely one of the pioneers, right, of the reality show. A lot of shows after that kind of emulated or copied, I guess you can say, your show or your success. What gave you the vision, right, to even think I'm going to be on a TV show. I'm going to build a business to be that, because that just amazes me.
That came from my late 90s and early 2000 years, I built a company called Lincoln Press, and we were an all inclusive in-house press, pre-press, design, marketing, execution teams. And I built that company to be very successful here. So I was building brands for other companies or building products that they wanted to take to market. Everything from the product itself to the packaging to the sticker that goes on it to the inspection to the info card, all of that kind of stuff. And we were doing that. So I understood the brand aspect of marketing a product. And I looked at the other guys that were doing it and I'm like, sure, they're selling some stuff and they're making some money. But the guy that bought that shirt can't wear it to Saturday afternoon baseball practice with his kid, I'm like, they're missing out. So I really went after that as the family element. We're still tattooed and do burnouts and what have you. We're just not assholes, So that's really where we came from, and that's what gave it to me. And I was like, I build all these brands, and I built this company to build brands, and I don't have anything of my own. So I was like, I've always loved cars and bikes. I've always had some around and tinkered with them. So that was the path I decided to go down.
Literally the definition of do what you love, and then you'll find a way, right?
Exactly. Because I love food, and we're fixing to expand very largely into food on YouTube. We're going to, basically my new target is Guy Prairie. I'm going after him. He's a buddy of mine. He knows it. I'm coming, Guy. But I see an opening in that space, the same as I saw in the early 2000s in this space, and I think I can get in there and grab a piece of it. So we're going to jump into that because I have restaurants and bars. I love to cook. I tell you, my wife's not even allowed to go to the grocery store. I do the grocery shopping and the cooking. So that's going to be fun to jump Gas Monkey into the kitchen.
I can't imagine just walking down the aisle of H-E-B or something and seeing you going grocery shopping for some chicken or something, huh?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I live literally less than a mile from a central market.
Nice.
And I'm there like 7 or 8 times a week.
Nice. So that was actually one of my next questions is what's next for Gas Monkey, but
we're jumping into the food space. We're relaunching tequila. I've got 2 other brands that we're going to launch that are kind of Gas Monkey back of the wall, forward facing. There are 2 new brands that we're launching. Not ready to say that yet, but they're going to be very, very cool, and I've got high hopes for their success. And then we'll jump into the food stuff and food videos, and there's a really cool correlation from all of the 20-something years that I've been traveling and doing car culture and motorcycle culture, and that is there's a cross-section wherever I'm at, whatever I'm looking at, car, motorcycle-wise or hobby-wise, there's a culture around food in that same area. I use Houston and Texas as a very big example of that. In Houston, the trucks they build here in Dallas, we would throw rocks at. And they would throw rocks at our trucks. And they think they have better Tex-Mex and better barbecue than we do up here in Dallas. We're 3 hours apart, completely separate worlds. So I want to go in and explore those kind of things around the United States where food and automotive culture collide.
That's cool. I want to watch that.
It's going to be a good show.
I want to watch that. Because we used to watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Drives, my wife and I too, all the time.
I watch it all weekend.
Yeah.
I just leave it on.
Yeah. And we go places and be like, I wonder if there's a Diners, Drive-In, Drives episode in this city, and we try to find the restaurant and go there too.
Yeah.
But super cool. Interesting. Real quick, one last question, and if you don't mind, maybe we can get a tour or something. You can show us around so we can get some B-roll. But you are an expert in branding and all that, and you used to do that even before Gas Monkey. A lot of guys think that a logo, some colors, some font, and some pictures or whatever, especially with AI nowadays. Let me do, which I do use a lot too, but let me just do some real quick AI and make a logo. This is my branding, or this is my brand. And I don't think that's at all what branding is. What would you say?
You got to live it. You got to live that brand. You got to be that brand. I've got a pretty famous saying that I tell people when I hire them here. I'm like, you can come in pissed off. You can come in, whatever. You can be mad at Richard and hate him that day or whatever, but you better worship that fucking monkey. That is your ticket. That guy is the one that gets your checks. protect that at all costs, which means protecting the way you look, protecting how your shirt is, protecting your attitude when you're out in public, and protecting, how people perceive you, because you're being perceived as Gas Monkey. So I think that the branding of just slapping some color and things like that is probably a pathway for some. But when I'm building something, I would build it based on professionalism, courteous, clean. I mean, it's not exactly a great clean job sometimes, but it's a service that is almost as important as water. I mean, it really is if you think about it. And so treat it like that. It's an important service. You want it to be right, what have you. Just thinking off the cuff, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if the people that did my dumpster came in and while it's moved out and they're switching them, didn't jump out and just quickly brush up whatever's laying around and chunk it in the back of their truck or whatever. That would blow my mind. I mean, that'd be a customer for life.
Right.
So there's just little things like that I'm sure that you can make. And then tell your friends, tell your other businesses around you, tell them I'm good, tell them I'm on time, tell them I'm, I'll do whatever. You're full on a Thursday. Sure, I might have a charge for it, but I'll be there in 30 minutes, stuff like that.
Awesome.
I think that's one thing from the outside looking in from all the buildings that I've owned. This industry, if somebody gets that right, can have a good leg up.
Be your brand. Your employees need to be your brand. Yeah, because the worst thing you want to see is some social media video with somebody wearing your Gas Monkey shirt. Well, obviously not that. That works for you.
Saying something wrong or throwing chairs off of buildings or whatever.
Right. Awesome, man. So again, the Dumpster Expo, September 25th and 26th. We're going to have you out, and we're just looking basically for your story. All we want to know is basically your story, how you grew your business, and how we can somewhat emulate or take advantage of your story and your brand as well.
Absolutely. And it's super cool. I mean, I'm going to be at the Dumpster Expo. I mean, I guess my career is finally in the trash.
Oh, man. Well, we're doing it at Texas Motor Speedway, so hopefully it's a pretty cool venue. It's the first time we've done it. We're growing the show. So we're going to be at the infield in the Texas Motor Speedway. We're doing NASCAR experiences, so if you want to jump into that, I'm sure you probably already have. But if you want to jump into NASCAR, we have that available. And
we'll have some fun.
It'll be a good time.
Well, the one thing I like about Texas Motor Speedway is they got beer.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, so we just finished wrapping up the the podcast with Richard Rawlings of Gas Monkey. Super excited to have him as a keynote speaker. The guy knows how to brand. He knows how to market a business. He knows how to create a brand that is bigger than all of us. Bigger than himself even. The brand that can sell for his business 24/7, 365 days a year. And that's what he's going to bring to the Dumpster Expo. His knowledge, his expertise, and his advice on how to grow a brand that hopefully can be as big as Gas Monkey one day. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the notification bell.